In this video, I want to demonstrate how easy it is to automate Service Manager using PowerWF. This is actually a part one of a two-part series. The end goal is to actually create a workflow that schedules and automatically closes incidences that have been resolved for a period of time. But to do that, I wanted to create some test instances. So what I'm going to do is here's the workflow I end up creating, but I want to show you how I created that. So I have a blank workflow, so I'm going to set variable. This is going to set a PowerShell variable. And I'm going to give it a name of num, and I'm going to get its value from the user. So by clicking the little blue icon, I can now bind it to a workflow parameter. I'm going to make this an input parameter, and I just fill out some information. And I can give it the help test. I give it an initial value of 5, and I'll make it mandatory for this workflow. My next step is I want to loop through to create all these guys. So I'm looking for a loop and drag that guy over. And I just got some conditions. So I'm going to have I, and this is just using standard PowerShell syntax, is less than num, which is a PowerShell variable, step 1. I'm going to initialize I as 0, and I want to make I increment for each time. Next thing, I want to create a title for my instance. So I find it's often easy to use just a simple script block to do kind of string formatting. So I'm going to drag that over. I'm going to set title variable equal to and that's pretty straightforward. Next step, I want to write this to the console. So I'm going to use a write host, which actually writes the value of a variable to the console. And we'll write out title. But you can also use our integrated debugger. So I'll put a breakpoint here and just to demonstrate that real quick. So I'll play this workflow and compile it up. And just for interest of time, I'm only going to go through this loop twice. So I say 2. Now with a breakpoint, I can go actually down to the PowerShell console and actually examine and manipulate my environment, which is very useful. Or I can go over to the watch window and actually see all the environment variables on the PowerShell. So here you see 2, value 2, etc., etc. I'll just click on disable the breakpoint and run through, and we can see our title looks pretty good. So the next thing that's nice about workflow is you can just simply disable a command, kind of like commenting it out. And I installed the Service Manager command list from Codeplex on this machine, so I'm going to look for something that looks like incident. And sure enough, this one looks pretty good. So I'm going to drag that guy over. New incident. So now I just simply have to fill out some parameters here. So it's going to be networking. Computer name. I'm running this remotely, so I need to specify the host my Service Manager is running on. Just give it a silly description. Impact low. We'll make it resolve, so we're set up for our next video. Title, we're going to set that as the title we just built up. Literacy low. Just to show you I have nothing up my sleeve, here's all the instances. So you see a number of closed instances from previous videos that I stumbled on my words. So we're running through here, and we'll create 3. And if everything goes well, 2, 3, and jump over here, and you can see that I created 4 instances because I had I less than equal to, and I initially set to 0. So I kind of could have tweaked that a little bit. Now that's nice, and it'll be great in the next video, but the next thing you do, I just want to demonstrate, you can actually deploy this as a console app and run it from the prompt, or I can actually create a commandlet, and let's just do that. So use the UAC, creates a commandlet, and now with the PowerShell prompt, so I can say new test instance, and it's actually going to give me the number of instances I want to create. So I've actually now even created a commandlet which I could use. It can either be rediscovered within PowerWF and used in other workflows, or just nice for utilities. So let's see if